people who believe in Almighty God and His Son, Jesus Christ. We stand on absolute, unchanging truth. And my friends, when we talk about religious freedom, may I remind you, as our great Senator Glenn Grothman just said, when our forefathers came over here in 1620 to establish the first permanent colony in this country up in Plymouth, Massachusetts, they didn't come for better popcorn. They didn't come because the fields were greener or there was better water. They came because they wanted religious freedom for their families. They came and they fought for that religious freedom. They came that we might be able to assemble on a beautiful summer afternoon in Madison, Wisconsin, in freedom. That we might be able to, as the attorney said, exercise our faith in the public arena. This idea that we have no right to take our faith outside of the four walls of our churches and outside the four walls of our families is nothing but bunk. Is that is the plan to silence us so that they can move on with their nefarious plans to rob us of the most important values that we have as Christian citizens in this country. Wisconsin Family Action has four main areas we work in: marriage, family, life, and liberty. And those are not, hear me and hear me well, they are not sideline issues, they are not social issues, they are core, foundational, fundamental issues in this state and this country. When we lose value of human life and we are told by the HHS what we must do in our religiously based organizations, schools, ministries, you call them what you will, about contraception, mark my words, now it's contraception. Who in the world knows what it will be the next time they get ready to rule like that? You are to be commended for being here today. This is an important rally. I want to say right here, please don't just rally. Do something. Find something and do it. Look, rallies are wonderful and we need it to get the information out, and I love that idea. But you have to take the message back to your homes, to your churches, to your communities, to your schools, and you have to spread it. My friends, this is truly a battlefield. Next Tuesday in North Dakota, the state of North Dakota will be voting on the very first religious freedom amendment in this country. Now it's being done at the state level because we can't get anything done at the federal level. And we are working on one here, and I'll tell you more about that in a minute. But they are voting on June the 12th. Listen to who is funding the opposition to that amendment. Planned Parenthood has put in over $500,000 to defeat the amendment in North Dakota. $500,000. This is the nation's largest abortion provider. You all know that. What in the world are they doing trying to kill a religious freedom amendment in North Dakota? Because they want to send a message. Stop it there. We don't have to go anywhere else. Now's the time for us to support our friends in North Dakota. I'm going to depart from the light for just a moment and give you another glaring example. Yesterday in New Mexico Court of Appeals, the Court of Appeals ruled that a private photography company that denied a same-sex couple for having their photography done by this private photography company was discriminating against them, and the couple had used their religious freedom as a reason for denying them their business. Now, you know what happened on that? Gay rights trumped religious freedom. You ought to be frightened, even if you are not agreeing with me that marriage should be between a man and a woman. You ought to be scared silly that any other right trumps religious freedom. Religious freedom is the core. It's the building block. religious freedom. I go all over this state. I'm a Protestant, but I go all over this state telling churches, it's coming. It's coming for you. And when these days you're going to look around and say, no one spoke up for me because everybody was gone because they didn't listen to the message that the religious freedom that we cherish that allows us to send missionaries to the four corners of the world, to spread the gospel around the planet, to have Christian schools, to have ministries for Bible translations and tract ministries and all the things we all love, it's going to be gone. Because it's going to be ruled unconstitutional in our country if we're not very, very careful. Now is the time for all of us to stand up. Next, I just want to very briefly mention what North Dakota is doing on Tuesday. We've already started here in Wisconsin. Our organization worked with Representative David Craig and State Senator Joe Lymon, and we got a religious liberty amendment introduced very late this last session. Because of the nature of this session, it didn't go anywhere, but we will be back with it in January. And I would encourage you, sign the petition we've got out there to encourage your legislators to do that. We'll talk more about that. But